What's up, basketball fans? Harrison Graham here with an episode of NBA Now by Chat Sports. And on today's show, Bleacher Report dropped an article with a trade idea for every NBA team except for the two finals teams. So, sorry, Nuggets and Heat fans. I guess you'll just have to focus on the games at hand. But we're going to break this into two separate videos, okay? So, part one today, 14 trade ideas from Bleacher Report. I react to all of them. Part two tomorrow. So, if you want part two and want our breakdown of these trade ideas, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. We'll drop that video at 11 o'clock Central Time on Monday morning. So part two of this video coming tomorrow. Don't miss it. Subscribe and turn on those notifications so you are notified. Okay, we'll go trade by trade, and I'll kind of just give instant reaction here. Atlanta Hawks trade idea. They get Joe Harris and Patty Mills from the Brooklyn Nets, and then John Collins lands in Brooklyn. I think the Hawks win this trade for a couple of reasons. One, Joe Harris and Patty Mills are both expiring contracts, so it gives them a lot more flexibility moving forward. There's some buzz that maybe Atlanta would shop Trae Young this offseason, and if they were to do that, getting some contracts that'll expire after the season really helps you fast-track a rebuild quicker because you'll have more cap space the following offseason, which the cap should jump that year as well. They paid John Collins, but he doesn't seem to really fit into their plans anymore for whatever reason, so if you can get out from under that contract, I think that's a win-win. I think Atlanta wins this trade. Celtics trade idea here. Kelly Olynyk to Boston for Payton, Pritchard, and Danilo Gallinari. I think Boston wins this trade because Olynyk is a win-now piece. He can, shoot the basketball from all three levels, rebound a little bit as well, has some positional versatility. Payton Pritchard kind of fell out of favor in Boston this year. Sounds like he could want a trade as well, according to reports in Boston. And they signed Danilo Gallinari, who's a good player, but he got injured before the season even started and did not even play last year. So if you're uncertain about his future, I think that's a bonus as well. I'll give Boston the edge in this one. Brooklyn Nets trade idea. Mo Bamba to Brooklyn, Royce O'Neal to Los Angeles. It's not a bad trade for Brooklyn by any means, but I'll give the Lakers the advantage here. I think LA is trying to stay in win-now mode for another year or two with LeBron James under contract, and I think Royce O'Neal is someone who can help them win. He's a 3-and-D wing player. Mo Bamba wasn't even in their rotation despite them trading for him after the deadline. Then he got injured, and it was just kind of a mess, and I personally think Anthony Davis, when he's playing the 5, makes the Lakers at their best anyway, so you don't really need Mo Bamba. Royce O'Neal can start. He can come off the bench and give you some wing, good minutes on the wing, I should say. Okay, Hornets trade idea. This is a draft one. They get the number 3 overall pick, move down from number 2. Also pick up 23 overall. For the 2nd overall pick and 34 overall going to Portland. I got to be honest, this trade makes no sense. Like, if you're Portland, why are you trading 23 to move up one spot? Sure, you get 34 back, but if I'm the Trailblazers, I'm cool with whoever sits there at 3. If it's Scoot Henderson, cool. There's your Damian Lillard successor. He can play next to Dame for now and eventually take over as this team's lead guard. If it's Brandon Miller, awesome as well. He's a guy who can play on the wing next to Damian Lillard. Obviously, there's been some buzz that Portland might just trade the number 3 pick anyway for a win-now piece. But for Charlotte, this is great, I would say. If they're cool with Scoot or Miller, then I'd say it's a win for them. But for Portland, it makes no sense. So not really a fan of this trade at all. Now, should the Blazers trade the number 3 overall pick? Type T for trade, or you can type K for keep. Let me know in the comment section down below, T for trade or K for keep. Okay, Bulls trade idea. D'Angelo Russell to the Chicago Bulls in a sign-in trade. Mo Bamba, Max Christie, and a 2029 unprotected first-round pick for DeMar DeRozan back to the Los Angeles Lakers. I got to be honest, the Lakers win this trade easily. DeRozan is still a really good offensive player. He can average 25 points per game like he has been the last year at an efficient clip. Sure, he doesn't shoot threes. He's not a great defender, but what are the Lakers losing in this trade? D'Lo, he was basically out of the rotation by the end of the playoffs. Mo Bamba, we just talked about him. He hasn't played at all. Max Christie, who cares? 2029 first, who cares? Sure, the Bulls, I think they would take less than a dollar on the dollar for DeMar DeRozan, but at the end of the day, I still think the Lakers win this trade. Got the Cavaliers trade idea now. Corey Kispert to Cleveland. I kind of just laughed at this one. 4 second-round picks. Number 49 overall this year, 25 and 26, and a 2027 via Denver. This is the classic no one values second-round picks in the NBA. I actually think Cleveland wins this trade. And you're probably saying 4 picks for Corey Kispert. Well, yeah, the Cavs are a playoff caliber team and should be for several years, so none of those second-round picks are going to be that high, especially if they're coming from free. A couple of those are via Denver anyways, at least the one is. Corey Kispert shot 42% from 3 this past year, so a guard off the bench that can shoot 42% from 3 or 4 unknown second-round picks. I'd take the player that I know can contribute right away, especially for a playoff caliber team. All right, the Mavericks trade idea here, and real shocker, DeAndre Ayton to Dallas. Haven't seen that at all this offseason. Christian Wood in a sign and trade, Josh Green, JaVale McGee. It's not a bad trade, to be honest, but I got to also be honest in the fact that I'm pretty bored of Ayton to the Mavs trade ideas. Doesn't mean I'm opposed to it. It just means give me some more creativity. Give me some more juice, Bleacher Report. I want to break down some other proposals for Dallas, especially if you want to factor in that number 10 pick. But it's not a bad deal for Dallas here, that trade proposal, but I got to be honest, I'm just a little bit bored of it. Will the Suns trade DeAndre Ayton? Type Y for yes or in for no. I think they will. I think they should. I think he's gone this offseason. The Pistons trade idea now. Devontae Graham for Marvin Bagley III. Okay, I'm falling asleep now, I must say. Who cares about this trade, right? Like, Devontae Graham's done a little bit more in the NBA, so he can score a little bit for Detroit, come off their bench. Marvin Bagley III, okay, but this is not a trade that moves the needle for me, and I don't think it moves the needle for Spurs or Pistons fans. What does move the needle for me is making money, especially during the NBA Finals, and you guys can do the same. Game 2 set for tonight. Go to BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. Put down $100. They'll give you $125 for free when you sign up. Nuggets, 8.5-point favorites tonight. Over under between the two teams, 216 points. I nailed the first game, folks. I said I like the Nuggets to cover the -9, and I like the under. I think I like the Heat covering tonight. I think Denver still wins, and I'll go over tonight. I'm kind of going the opposite, so go check that out with BetUS. And by the way, 7:30 Eastern tonight, 30 minutes before tip-off, will be live for Game 2 between the Nuggets and the Heat. Chase Sr., Nick Roloff have you covered, so go check that out by subscribing and joining us tonight. Okay, Warriors trade idea here. We got a few more. OG Anunoby and Thad Young to Golden State for Jordan Poole, Ryan Rollins, and the number 19 overall pick. I like this trade for both teams because when you really break it down, the Raptors could enter kind of a mini rebuild here, and I think Anunoby can get you a decent chunk back. And Jordan Poole's a guy who can help you in that rebuild. He's still young enough. You get Ryan Rollins, a developmental player perhaps, but also you get a top 20 pick this year. So I like that for Toronto. I like it for Golden State. Anunoby can help them in their still win-now window as that window's starting to close just a bit. But you add a youthful piece as well that can also help you beyond the Steph Curry years. I think it's a win-win. Thad Young, veteran type of player. With Andre Iguodala retiring, he could kind of play that mentor role. Okay, Houston Rockets trade idea. Ben Simmons and a 2025 first-round pick via the Phoenix Suns for a 2029 second-round pick. How the value has dipped for Ben Simmons. Even though you're not giving up much at all and you're getting a first to take on Ben Simmons, any team trading for Ben Simmons loses, in my opinion. I mean, he's just, you can't have him around, man. He's not a winning piece. So I gotta lean Brooklyn in this trade. If you can get out from that contract and from that cancer, I think it's a good win. Pacers trade idea. DeAndre Ayton to Indiana, who, remember, they signed him to a max last offseason, but Phoenix matched. For Myles Turner, TJ McConnell, first-round pick this year, second-round pick this year as well. Suns easily win this trade. I'll be honest, I kind of like Myles Turner better than DeAndre Ayton. And you're also getting TJ McConnell a first and a second. I think that's a steal for Phoenix. If you're Indiana, do not do this trade. I think that would be an absolute disaster. Obviously, the Pacers like Ayton. They paid him for a reason, but once the Suns matched him, you can't force the issue here. Couple more to break down. Clippers trade idea. John Collins to L.A. for Terrence Mann and Marcus Morris Sr. Again, I think I like this for Atlanta. You get to dump Collins' contract, who, he kind of fell out of favor. Like I said earlier, I think they win this trade. If Collins can get back to what he was, maybe it's a win-win where the Clippers get a nice number 3 piece next to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, obviously. But I don't know if that's actually the case. Lakers trade idea here. Chris Paul to the Lakers. Could it finally happen for D'Angelo Russell in a sign-and-trade and Malik Beasley? Well, Scottie Pippen Jr. would no longer have to be teammates with Malik Beasley, who has been dating Scottie Pippen's mom. So you got that. Also, I think the Suns win this trade because CP3 is cursed. He can't win a title. And if you're trying to win a title, you dump CP3. Obviously, I'm being a little exaggeratory here, but I do actually think Phoenix wins this trade. You get out of Chris Paul's contract for the final year. D'Lo, I'm not a huge D'Lo guy, but he's a younger piece. Perhaps can help you out a little bit. Now, will Chris Paul ever win a championship? Type 1 for yes, or you can type 2 for no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Grizzlies trade idea, Kyle Kuzma via sign and trade. Is he set to be a free agent for Brandon Clark, Jake LaRavia, and a first-round pick, number 25 overall? I like this trade for both teams. For Memphis, you get a 4th scorer in addition to what you have in Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr. So you had Kuzma, a 22-point scorer last year. You got 4 20-point scorers there for that. I like Brandon Clark as a piece for Washington. Jake LaRavia's got some potential, and they get a first back. I think it's a win-win for both teams. Remember, part 2 coming tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. Subscribe. We'll see you then.